Welcome, everybody. This is Exploring the Ka, my YouTube channel, and this is exclusive Space Water podcast live on YouTube here. Let me make sure we got it going. Welcome. Yeah, we got it. All right, good. We got it. We got it. We got it. I'm glad everybody's here. Everybody's going to be tuning in. I hope everybody's healthy and happy and safe and warm and not out in the cold right now. We have some incredible, incredible times we are living in right now. The sun is incredibly active with solar storms. We got the Spiral Out merch here for you. It's got the Eye of Horus on the back and the Spiral Out, cool ass Spiral Out logo here. You guys can get that at the mysticalspiralstore.com. I hope everybody's having a good Friday the 13th so far. It is December 13th, 2024. Yesterday was the 12/12 portal. And we'll get started in a few moments as people start joining in. Johnny, glad you're here, Johnny. Glad you are here, brother. Incredible, incredible stuff we're going to be getting into today. And don't forget, everybody, to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. You guys can also check out my website, which the Space Water Podcast is sponsored by. That's at the mysticalspiralstore.com. And you guys can see we have a special 30% off coupon code still up. It's going to be up for the next 24 hours still. We're going to leave it up another 24 hours. We've had it up for about 48 hours so far, and we've got good response. A lot of this stuff is getting sold. Things are going fast. I'm putting up items, more items though, every day. Every few hours, I'm putting up items, new items. So I would constantly check the website for more things if you're looking for, and go through everything because I mixed it up. You know, there's new items all over, not just at the top. So you got new items throughout the whole many pages we got here. We got hundreds of items here, and there's specific categories on the website too. So if you guys don't realize, in the menu, you could go through the main store, but also in the menu you got all different crystals, clusters, freeforms, palm stones, skulls, specimens, towers, wands. You got tensors, harmonizers, pendants, bracelets. And then if you go to more, you even got my YouTubes. You got programmed crystals and gemstones right here. Really cool stuff here. Wow, the skull's all sold already. All these mini ones. I got more of them ready for you guys. These ones all sold in the last couple of days. I have other dragons available too up here. But you guys got to get it before items sell fast. Oh my God, this is 30% off of this right now, which is already on sale. I forgot about this. You guys can get these for a really good deal right now. It's already on sale, and then you get 30% off that price for this. Has double royal cubit, 432 hertz imprinted. Oh my God, you can't go wrong with those deals, everybody. So the Mystical Spiral store, you got 30% off for the holiday sales, and I'm putting new items up every day. I just shipped out about 6 or 7 orders today. I got to go back to the post office tomorrow. So yeah, I've been walking to the post office. My car broke down. I walked like 3 miles today. It was all right though. It was all right, except for my foot. My foot is messed up. But yeah, these Andromeda streams, I just made this one. I saw people put a back in stock request for the Andromeda stream amulet here today. Whoever did that, if you're watching, I have another one available right here. Each one is its own unique one, so you won't get exactly the same one, but I got other Andromeda streams. This one is sold already. but I have other ones. All right, everybody. We'll let some other people join, but we're gonna get started as people move in. Maybe they can watch the rest of the show. The beginning. If they missed the beginning, you could rewind and watch the replay. But yes, this is episode 41 of the Space Water Podcast, exclusive series of groundbreaking information on science, religion, spirituality, and thought. And it all has to do with the climate of humanity, the climate of the cosmos, and where we're going in the future and what we can do about it. And yeah, we're at some interesting times, people. You could see the amount of solar storms and sunspots that are developing right now. And people got to realize that the sun and the weather of the solar system is linked to the climate and weather of humanity and the people of Earth. The climate of Earth is directly linked to the climate of the sun, right? The personality, the the characteristics, all the different levels of the sun's weather and climate is all directly connected to the spiritual nature and the way our planet flows. They're directly connected. And when we have a certain vibration that's coming out of the planet and that is directly causing damage to not just this planet, but the harmony of the solar system, which ultimately is connected to the universe as a whole, that's when things need to be done about it. And I do feel that Earth is being closely watched by other intelligences out there. And we're at the cusp of major planetary changes. And we are here to witness it and be a part of it. And in fact, we are here now to activate, to take roles in these battles that we are up against. Now we can save certain things, but ultimately it's about changing collectively. And ultimately, you only can think about what you can do for yourself and how you can change yourself. Because you can't change other people unless you first are at peace with yourself. And only one can change oneself, right? Well, you're not going to be able to affect and inspire others unless you have your own spiritual nature at peace. If you're not at peace with who you are as a self, within yourself, and where you fit with your surroundings and nature and in the universe, right? If you haven't had that ego of yours hammered and smashed and exposed, where the real you can emerge, then the time is now. The time has been now. Hey, Charlotte, glad you're here, Charlotte, in the chat room. Your order is going out tomorrow morning, Charlotte. It's all packed up. I shipped out about 6 or 7 orders today, and when I got home from the post office, I finished a couple of more that came in from the 11th and the 12th. So I did yours later today. But yeah, I walked 3 miles to the post office today. But the thing is, I have a bad heel right now, so it was like, and it was freezing out, so I really didn't enjoy the walk all that much. But I was talking to my friend Dave during the trip, so pass some time. It was all right. Yeah, thank you. This is my hat for podcast. I don't wear this one in public, but I wear it for the podcast. It's got like even like scales on it. It's really high level. I like this hat. I have I have like a track jacket, almost like an Adidas type track jacket that's gold like this too, but my wife won't let me wear it in public. It was for like going to the clubs back in the day. It's like brand new, and I never got to wear it once in public. It's still got the tags on it and stuff, but I got it with this hat. I bought it when I was I was being a little eccentric, blazed one night. I got it. It was in a mall too, and like one of those. This was years ago, like 20 years ago too. I just started wearing this hat, and I've had it for like 20 years. Um, yeah. Hey Charlotte, if you want to order, uh, I would order. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it up. So your package didn't even ship yet. So you're lucky. Chloe's package shipped, and a lot of other people shipped today. But yours didn't ship today. Yours will be shipping tomorrow, or if you want to add more, I'll wait. I could wait. But I actually hooked you up with some Herkimer Diamond. I gave you a free Herkimer Diamond. I gave you some free strawberry quartz, and I gave you some free sh either shungite or white clary sage, one or the other I put in there too. I gave you a nice Christmas gift package. Everybody that orders from my website at the Mystical Spiral store is getting Christmas gift packages. So know that. And I'm handing out Herkimer diamonds, which are assets. They go up in value. They are highly sought after. They are hand ethically sourced from me and my family right here in actually it's way upstate New York from me, but it's right here in New York. And they're very highly sought after types. Of course, they're called Herkimer diamond, and they are double terminated. Some of them even have hydro bubbles in the inside. They got also like little air bubbles in them, and some have petroleum deposits inside of them. Very cool inclusions. And I think the only place in the world to get these is in New York, and they do have a place in the Middle East somewhere that has a similar type. Even uh, some of the ones too you find can be UV reactive, but I don't know if any of the ones I have are. Yeah, I got the most powerful shungite you can get on the planet. It's even got rainbow in it, and I'm one of the few people in the world that you can get the size of shungite even that I have for pendants and stuff. So let me show you guys real quick before we get started, because you got people in the chat room. The shungite that I'm talking about. So this is my website, and these are actual collector's pieces of shungite that I'm going to show you. These are littler pieces. This is all elite, noble, triple A grade shungite, the highest quality of shungite, like these ones that you see here. These are all triple A grade, elite, noble shungites, like that piece there. Um, there's the picture like that. But there, I have an even higher quality of elite, noble shungite than the triple A grade. And I'll show you that. And they're big pieces too. I could go get a piece to show you now. But I think it's even better on the camera here because this camera doesn't show that great. But here, this is what I'm talking about. These are the really nice big pieces of elite noble shungite, and they actually have a rainbow. Let me show you. You guys can see the rainbow here. Look at that. Really, really high quality elite noble shungite. And pretty much all those big pieces that I have that I pick out for pendants have that rainbow on them. This one I think is sold. That one. Yeah, that one's sold, but all these other big ones, and you get 30% off right now. They all have rainbow on them. These are collector's piece, and they have over 44 inches of twisted silver copper in there. And this one's got rainbow in it too. I'll show you. You guys can see the rainbow here at the bottom. Oh, all rainbow shungite, and you can't really find too many shungite out there that has rainbow on it like this. Really, really high quality, elite, noble, triple A grade shungite. And when you have the twisted silver copper on there, I mean, you got a lot of EMF protection. Um, just really powerful. I'm using the Royal Cubit measurement as well. Very powerful combination. And these are lifelong companions, man. Beautiful pendant. Powerful too, as well. So there's all price ranges with the pendants. You can even get shungite pendants for $20, $30 too. So I have all price ranges. Get them while the prices are 30% off with the coupon code. So you could get all different shungites. Look, you can get this tensor one 30% off right here. You got the regular copper. It's $49.99, but you get 30% off that right now. That's a cute little pendant with this regular copper, the royal cubic copper around it. And this one right here, the silver one, this one's available. And I could custom make one for you as well. So if you guys want to have one custom made, just let me know. And you could pick out shungite. You could pick out which gauge silver or copper or which gauge copper you want. I'll show you the shungites. These big ones. These are some of the this one's even not as big as the other ones, but these are some of the big size pieces of the shungite, the elite noble shungite. They're beautiful, really powerful. And if people want other types of shungite, I have these shungite pyramids available. I keep them right on my laptop here. So you guys can get a great deal on these shungite pyramids. They come packed up really nice as well. Let me show you. Hold on. So I have them really packed up nice, these shungite pyramids. They're Gizas. And I think they're like $30, but you get 30% off right now. So worth it. So worth it. Totally worth it. And these are great for right by your laptop, your Wi-Fi, whatever. Yeah, you guys could check that out. I don't know. Nothing's Ocean Jasper is really not that fragile. It's pretty strong. What else is going on? Randall Hill. Shout out to Randall Hill. Guys, we are going to get deep. You see the title of tonight's podcast, The Ever Turning Flame of God. We're going to be talking about the sun speaking. Of course, we're talking about waking up angels because I do feel that we have angelic beings incarnating right here on earth, right here as us as humans, and that we've got amnesia. We have forgotten who we are. Right. And I talked about this in the last podcast. Even when I was doing the Tibetan bell, it didn't even come up on the video. The frequency was like too much for Zoom. They didn't even come up. So it was probably better off it was not meant to happen. All right. So I'm going to continue from where we started on the last where we left off on the last podcast. Right. And we're going to get into the ever turning flame of God because this is the time that we're at right now. Well, what was being discussed in ancient writings and tablets is once again upon us. The ever turning flame of God, the ever turning flame of the sun, the flaming sword of Archangel Michael is twisting and turning and blasting earth. And we're in a time of grand change and rising on the planet. Oh, Charlotte, if you want me to make you a custom ocean jasper pendant, let me know. I don't know what I have of ocean jasper right now. I have the ocean jasper flower agate one that's really incredible. This kind of material. It's like the bluish white and has some flower in it. Yeah, those are really good. I could wrap it in heavy gauge, all different gauge copper. Like if you want the heavy gauge, it's like this size. That's the thickest gauge that I do for pendants. It's a 12 gauge. But then the other ones I do are like 16 gauge, 18 gauge. 16 gauge is a nice size. This is 16 gauge. This is a nice size. So if you want, and it depends. If you want less of the stone, if you want it to be the most secure, you want to put a lot of copper around it. But if you want more to show, you put less copper. But there's a way to make it still secure and put less copper. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I can make one for you if you want me to make you a custom one. Let me know. So we're gonna get into the flaming sword of the sun, what we're talking about, and flaming sword of God. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but first we gotta first I wanna get into a little bit of where we left off in the last podcast. Is leads into the topic we're getting into this morning. And yeah, this is it's 5:11 a.m. and we're at Friday the 13th right now. We had the 12:12 Passion Portal opening up yesterday. And we have an interesting time right now where angelic beings are arriving right through the portal from the sun to earth, and they're awakening within humanity, right? Because we're at the cusp of a major change here on earth, people. I don't think people realize I've been saying this. I know these podcasts are for entertainment as well, but people, you got to feel it inside of you, right? Yeah, I got you, Charlotte. I'll do it with the silver. Yeah, the silver I got 16 gauge and 18 gauge usually I use. We'll use the 16 gauge. Did you want the twisted copper or just the regular copper? I mean the twisted silver or just the regular silver? Oh, and by the way, before we get back into the podcast, 12/12 portal's your birthday. Before we get back into the podcast, let me show you your product because yours didn't even ship yet. So this is yours. Yours didn't ship out yet. I didn't put the label on it. But this is your package in here. Hold on. See how you get it at the Mystical Spiral store? You get your own comes wrapped, the bubble wrap, the paper, your own little box, necklace material. Then you got your own sticker on the box, own little box for it, and then the pendants are inside, and even more bubble wrap. And this is her blue gold stone with the twisted. Look at that bad boy. This is the blue gold stone with the twisted. Look at that. Look at that stream of stars, Charlotte. You see that? Beautiful twisted royal cubit, silver coated copper with the blue gold stone. Look at the stream of stars in there. Beautiful. And she got it for like $40 plus shipping. Really good deal for that. Over 44 inches of twisted silver coated copper is in there. Beautiful piece. And she got a free Herkimer diamond and some other stuff. She got like a free gift package in there. Beautiful right here. You got lucky. And you got the leather. This is genuine leather necklace material I put in there. So you got the leather necklace material too. So perfect. Everything you wanted. And more. All right. Oh yeah. So dude, before we go deeper into the podcast, let's clear up the Emerald Tablet. Let's clear up the Emerald Tablet discussion as well. Because I think people are confused about the validity of the Emerald Tablets. And there's no technical ever in our that we know of from our recorded history any physical Emerald Tablets. There's no actual Emerald Tablets in museums. If there is any in a museum, it's an artistic rendition of an Emerald Tablet. Okay. We've never actually physically found any Emerald Tablets. There have been writings saying or referencing Emerald Tablets, but there are no physical Emerald Tablets. There's two sources. Well, there's more than two sources, but there's two different Emerald Tablet discussions. You have, which are they're sort of related because Thoth and Hermes are sort of this related being or consciousness or entity, right? You have the Hermes Trismegistus, and you have the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, right? The Emerald Tablet of Thoth is non-existent. You have Claude Loggins, who changed his name to Maurice Doriel, Dr. Doriel. And in the 1920s, he supposedly went to like Chichen Itza in Mexico or somewhere like that. I forget it was it Egypt? No, I think it was Mexico. He went to he went on an expedition or a vacation or whatever, and I don't know if it was even an archaeological actual dig or anything like that. I'm not sure. But supposedly he went to like Chichen Itza or somewhere like that, and he discovered some tablets beneath the pyramids, but he never produced them, right? He never actually showed any tablets to anybody. Um, so nothing ever came of that. But he published the book of his translations of what he called the Emerald Tablets. I think they were his channelings, channelings. So those are not real. Those are, I mean, they're real in the sense that Dr. Doriel made them, but they're not physical ancient tablets. All right. Next one, the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and the Kabbalion. Right. So I have the Emerald Tablet of Thoth upstairs. I don't feel like going and looking for it because it's not on my bookshelves. It's in one of the boxes of books. I have boxes of books here too. I don't even have on shelves. Like I have like about four or five bookshelves, like one of them you see here behind. And this is just a small one I have just for the podcast, but I have like four or five huge bookshelves on the walls of books that I actually have out, but there's also many ones that are packed in boxes. So the Emerald Tablet of Thoth from Dr. Dario, I have packed in a box somewhere. It's very thin, but this is the other one, the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, right? And the Kabbalion. They have this together on here, right? Now, in here, even it talks about the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, but it doesn't actually mention that there's actually any physical tablets, right? It just talks because right here at the beginning of the book, it talks about the history of the tablets, right? Right here. So it's the history of the tablets, but then when you when you go into it, it's just it's just documents that are referencing a tablets and things like that. There's no actual tablets. All right. And then the way they word it, it likely first appeared. It might have been like, let me read a little bit to you real quick. All right. History of the tablet. The tablet likely first appeared in the West in editions of the Secretorium, which was actually a translation of the Kadip Sur al Asar. Wow, al Asar, that means that was Osiris's actual name. Which is, say, look at this, which was actually a translation of the Kadab Sur al Asar, a book of advice to kings. So it was a document to a king. It was not an actual tablet, which was translated into Latin by Johannes Hispalensis in the year 1140. So it's from 1140, and by Philip Tripoli in the year 1243. Tripoli. Other translations of the tablet might have been made during the same period by Plato of Tivoli and Hugh of Santalla, possibly from different sources. The date of the Kitab Sur al-Asar is unclear, although circa 800 AD has been proposed. It is not clear if the tablet became part of this work at a later time. That Khadib Sur al Asar is probably Muslim, but it's interesting because Asar is the original name of Osiris, and El or Al Asar means like the god Asar, and Asar is ultimately coming from the Asuras, right? These are ancient Vedic Aryan tribes that this information is coming from, right? But these are 12th century Arabic version. This one, an Arabic version. Ruska found the 12th century version, allegedly dictated by Sergius Nablus. I mean, all these are not ancient tablets. These are documents discussing or mentioning a tablet, right? So there's no actual emerald tablets anywhere. And if they are, they haven't been found yet, or they haven't been revealed. But you have all sorts of people. Even Madame Blavatsky talked about emerald tablets. There's so many. They even have different sources of people talking about um the Emerald Tablet of Hermes in here. You have uh, the Arabic version from the German of Ruska, translated by Anonymous. You have a 12th century Latin. You have a translation from Aurelium Occultae Philosophorium Giorgio. You have one from Beato. You have one from a translation of Isaac Newton. Let me see what that one is. So this was in 1680 by Isaac Newton. It says, "'Tis without lying, certain most true. That which is below is like that which is above." So this is just like kind of channelings by people. Their interpretation of a doctrine of Hermes, right? Tapping into the archetype. Yeah, Kitab means book in Arabic. Yeah, well, the Kitab, Kitab Sir Al Asar, Al Azar, Asar means like of I mean, the god Osiris, in my opinion. Oh, Alexander J. Mitchell. That's my brother right there. Part of the Soul Tribe, for sure. The Spiral team. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's keep the ball rolling. We can build our own chapel of Archangel Michael, so we can fight with the flaming sword of the sun. Now, we're gonna get deep into this. You just sparked the flame in me now, right? We're gonna get deep into this. So I just wanted to clear that up about the emerald tablets, and the validity of them, right? Because a lot of people out there, some people in these communities, they talk and they try to sound intelligent, and they use like a word salad of different things, but they're doing their research on the internet, and they're misinformed, and they're just trying to make money and build a name for themselves. And it's so funny because like they call themselves experts, a lot of them, and then when they actually get confronted with an expert, they'll be like, oh, like I got to bring up the guy Billy Carson again real quick just for a second. So funny with that guy Wes Huff. What happened? I mean, it was masterfully done by Wes Huff, who, if you ever seen this guy Wes Huff, he's a Christian scholar of ancient tablets, right? And an expert on ancient tablets and doctrines, of Christian doctrines. And I'm not myself, I don't call myself an expert in any way, but as you guys have been following my work, I have spent over 20 years working on translations of Ugaritic, biblical archaeology, um, Greek, right? Etruscan, Sanskrit, and many things related to Christianity and biblical archaeology. That's one of my main passions, right? I wouldn't consider myself an expert because for me, it would take more than the years I've put in to be an expert. Like it really would. So I don't even know how Wes considers himself an expert, because I would consider it would take more than the years that he is alive to be in that great of, because there's just so much to become an expert, right? To me, an expert is like you everything pretty much, right? But so I'm able to spot what would be considered an expert. I would at least say that, right? And I'm able to hold conversations with experts when it comes to ancient tablets and biblical archaeology. When I first heard the guy speak, Billy Carson, I knew immediately he didn't know what he was talking about in many ways. And I knew he wasn't an expert. I figured he must have read a little Zechariah Sitchin and then, did some a little bit of research, but a lot of it is, and Zechariah Sitchin is not real translations. They read more like a series of novellas, right? I wouldn't consider that truth or real translations. And with Billy, he was so funny. What happened with Wes Huff? Because first of all, Billy was talking about how he's an world's foremost expert on ancient tablets, right? And then when he goes into this debate with Wes Huff, and if you guys haven't seen this guy Wes Huff, he looks like a jacked metrosexual GI Joe, right? He's like really well groomed. His eyebrows are all well plucked and groomed and done, and he's jacked and swole, right? He looks like an ex-Marine GI Joe dude, but he's also very well manicured and like almost like metrosexually, right? And he talks very, you know, he's got a very passive, feminine type of, talk as well, voice. It's his voice isn't too masculine, right? But he knows his stuff when it comes to Christian writings and ancient tablets. And Billy's calling himself an expert, and then when West pretty much hands him his ass, and then Billy concedes and says, "Well, you're the expert. I'll go with what you're saying." That made me laugh. That made me laugh because Billy's out there calling himself an expert. And then fast forward to this little debate that they had, and Billy actually says, "Well, you're the expert. I'll go with what you're saying." So he literally conceded to the guy because the guy's an expert. So he literally contradicts himself and says, "Listen, I'm not an expert. You're the expert. So I'm going to go with what you're saying." He literally said that. All right. So, guys, I've been doing this a very long time. When someone speaks, I know immediately if they're referencing ancient writings, where they're referencing certain things from. I myself had past people that I've been connected that were actually connected to the Society of Biblical Archaeology when they were first the transactions of biblical archaeology were being made, and these were first being translated. They were publishing these books, right? So I've been fascinated by it because I had people that influenced me when I was younger, right? So it's been a passion of mine since I'm a very young age. And uh when I hear somebody calling themselves an expert, I expect them to be one, or at least close to one. It's pretty ridiculous because it's like a fantasy. People want to. It's crazy, and it's not saying that the guy's not smart. He's a smart and articulate guy because he could talk real well, but that's why he was able to deceive everybody out there. And he was going on all these podcasts where people are cheerleading him. Right, I would see him go on podcasts and be like, "Wow, tell me about the Anunnaki and the history of the Anunnaki," and they're just cheerleading him and just believing everything. It's really pathetic, actually. But that's what you get nowadays. It's for entertainment. It's not truth. Right. So let's get back into our topic. So let's go. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If the guy ever wanted to have a debate with me, I'm open to be doing a debate. I mean, Billy Carson, if he ever wanted to debate me, I would debate with him. Um, I actually like the guy Wes Huff. I like what he has to say. Um, really cool. But you know, I don't know how the guy's gonna sue anybody either. What are you gonna sue somebody for? Their opinion? Or because they showed a fact that you were wrong in a debate. He actually put a challenge out there for anybody to debate him, and he never answered my challenge because I actually called him out a couple of years ago when I first heard him talking, but I guess I wasn't a big enough channel for you, right? But I got the Ka, exploring the Ka, Ra Castaldo. We are the Ka. We explore the Ka here, the spirit of who we are, right? No doubt. So we're going to get into the difference. Last time on the podcast, we were talking about channeling, right? And there's a difference when you're letting something step in, because we're going to be talking about some of this information that's coming directly from the sun, right? And the difference of information coming through the light and obsessing or taking over the person, right? So if one is going to communicate with God, so to say, you should not have to be uh, give yourself over to as an instrument. You should never have to go where you don't know what's being done, where something steps in and takes over, where you like basically check out either asleep or whatever, and you don't even know what transpired. That is the what would be called being obsessed or being possessed in a way, right? And this is the danger, and this is the part where it should not should not do. This is the part you should not do, right? This is the dangerous one, right? If you're awake and conscious, this is the only way God would speak to you. God would not have to possess you with another being, right? God might channel through you and speak through you in certain ways while you're awake through various, even automatic writings. Yes, God can do this. God can take the light and direct the light into you and guide your hand to write. Yes, God can speak to you in that way. But if you're having a being step into you, in for you, where you're literally wake up out of your trance and you don't know, whoa, I just wrote all that. That's being possessed or obsessed. There's a difference. If you're consciously awake during the experience and God is speaking through you and you're just flooding the page, almost like something is guiding your hand, but it's also your brain is conscious during it and you're thinking, and it's like you're getting a divine revelation. That's different than being obsessed, where you're wake up out of it and all of a sudden you wrote in all different languages and speaking in different tongues and all this, and you don't know what transpired. That's being possessed, obsessed. And there's a big difference. And I talked about different channelings that started to happen in the 1800s, after 1879 even. When we went into the age of Archangel Michael, the flaming sword of the sun, the flaming sword of God, this ever-turning sword, this coronal blast that twists and ever turns each and every way. The solar flare of Archangel Michael, the solar flare of God, the twisting and turning every way flame of Bel in the dragon story, right? This is the divine revelation, right? This is how we get information from the sun. It comes in various forms. It comes in various forms of light. It comes through storms. It comes through a sunny daylight. It comes through all different forms of light. And different channelings were starting to happen after 1879. And unfortunately, it did not change the planet enough, right? One of the people that I've talked about, and you guys can get all these book recommendations on my Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. Really trying to build that, everybody. So you can join for as low as $2 a month. Join the spiral team. So one of the people that I've posted on there, one of the book recommendations is Anna Kingsford, right? This was from the 1880s when she channeled these. She died at a young age. She was only like in her early 40s. She died in 1888. And she was channeling, but not where she goes to sleep channeling. She was basically getting divine revelation while awake and conscious, right? And there's a big difference, people. There's a big difference. And these are called Clothed with the Sun. The artwork is very interesting, and this is artwork from the original that's reprinted. And these were first published in after she passed away by her friend Edward Maitland. And they're called Clothed with the Sun. Now that phrase might sound a little familiar to Christian and people that are familiar with the Bible, right? Because that is a very familiar phrase that we see in the book of Revelation, clothed with the sun. So I find that topic and title, I mean, very interesting. Yeah, the short, no doubt. The 1212 portal has been opened, everybody. So let me get into concerning the topic of channeling, like I just mentioned. Anna Kingsford goes into this. Now, check this out. This is concerning inspiration and prophesizing. She said, I heard last night in my sleep a voice speaking to me and saying, 1. You asked the method and nature of inspiration and the means whereby God revealeth the truth. 2. Know that there is no enlightenment from without. The secret of things is revealed from within. 3. From without cometh no divine revelation, but the spirit within beareth witness. 4. Think not, I tell you that which you know not, for except you know it, it cannot be given to you. 5. To him that hath it is given, and he has not the more he hath the more abundantly. 6. None is a prophet save he who knoweth. The instructor of the people is a man of many lives. 7. Inborn knowledge and the perception of things. These are the sources of revelation. The soul of the man instructeth him, having already learned by experience. 8. Intuition is inborn experience, that which the soul knoweth of old and of former years. Now, wait, it gets better. Check this out. Wait. 9. An illumination in the light of wisdom, whereby a man perceiveth heavenly secrets. 10. Which light is the Spirit of God within the man. Wait, which light is the Spirit of God within the man, showing unto him the things of God. Do not think that 11. Do not think that I tell you anything you know not. All cometh from within. The Spirit that informeth is the Spirit of God in the prophet. 12. What then, you ask, is the medium, and how are to be regarded the utterances of one speaking in trance? 13. So she's asking, what then, you ask, is the medium, and how are to be regarded the utterances of one that's speaking in trance? So she's saying, like, how do you regard on like what do you like how do you feel about the people that are speaking in trance? Like, is it good? Is it bad? What when mediums do this? And then check this out, number 13. God speaketh through no man in the way you suppose. For the spirit of the prophet beholdeth God with open eyes. If he fall into a trance, his eyes are open, and his interior man knoweth what is spoken by him. But when a man speaketh that which he knoweth not, he is obsessed, an impure spirit, or one that is bound has entered into him. There are many such, but their words are the words of men who know not. These are not prophets, not inspired. God upsetheth no man. God is revealed, and he to whom God is revealed speaketh that which he knoweth. Right? These are all different numbers. I didn't read, like, it was 13. God speaketh no man in the way you suppose. For the spirit of the prophets behold God with open eyes. If he falls into a trance, his eyes are open, and his interior man knoweth what is spoken by him. 14. But when a man speaketh that with what he knoweth not, he is obsessed, an impure spirit, or one that is bound has entered into him. Right? Stories of the reptile junkie houses. You mean what I told you about was happening in that I witnessed in Arizona back in the early 2000s? I'm not going to go off topic here, brother, but I have done shows talking about that. Yeah, there are networks of, there we live in a multi-dimensional system, if you want to say. We live in a system of frequencies and harmonics. So we have superimposed coordinates, right? Where you could be standing in the same coordinate I'm in now, and something at a lower or higher frequency exists in that same space, superimposed, right? But it's just at different frequencies, different realities, different spectrums of sound, of light, right? So, um, when you open yourself up to certain psychedelics and drugs, in fact, too, you can become aware of some of these dimensions. When you become spiritually open, you can become aware of some of these, dimensions. When you enter into a certain 8 hertz shamanistic meditative state, you can be aware of these cascades of harmonics. And when you get to a certain state, like in 8 hertz, I think it is technically, you can peer into those mathematically compatible harmonics, right? Those 432, 144, 72, all these sacred numbers that are talked about in scriptures, like 72, right? This is because when they're in that harmonic meditative state, you can peer into those cascades of mirrors that exist. It's like mirrors facing mirrors, and within mirrors dripping down into each other, you know, like watery mirrors, the inner solar waters of different sounds of the light and the water all mixed together, right? This is the inner solar waters that's connected to literally the light of the sun. the light of our soul, the flame, the ever-turning flame of the sun, the ever-turning flame of your soul, spiraling up your spine. Yeah, the 108 is directly connected to the sun, chanting and aligning with yourself with the distance from Earth to the sun, the Earth to the moon. And I went into this last time. But you see, in Anna Kingsford, she's talking about being the difference, right? The difference between being conscious, right? So let me go in describe it even more. God upset 16. God upsetheth upseth is how do you that word is a tricky one. Upsetheth sith. It's like a th at the end. Upsetheth. It's a weird. It's like I feel like Sylvester from friggin' like I thought a putty cat. No, the Tweety or no, the Sylvester the friggin' cat. How he talks with a God is revealed, and he to whom God is revealed speaketh that what he knoweth, right? And then 17, Jesus, Christ Jesus understandeth God. He knoweth that of which he beareth witness. 18, but they who being mediums utter in trance things of which they have no knowledge, and of which their own spirit is uninformed. These are obsessed with a spirit of divination, a strange spirit, not their own. Of such beware, for they speak many lies, and are deceivers, working often for gain or for pleasure's sake, and they are a grief and a snare to the faithful. Inspiration may indeed be mediumship, but it is conscious, and the knowledge of the prophet instructeth him. Even though he speak in an ecstasy, he uttereth nothing that he knoweth not. For who art a prophet has had many lives, yeah, thou hast taught many nations and has stood before kings. So are you even though it's an older type of English, are you hearing what she's saying here? She's saying mediums utter in trance of which they have no knowledge and of which their own spirit is uninformed. They are obsessed with the spirit of divination, a strange spirit, not their own. She's saying, you got to beware, for they speak lies, they're deceivers, they're working for pleasure's sake or gain's sake, and they are grief and snare to the faithful. But check out what she says here. Inspiration may indeed be mediumship, right? You might get divine inspiration through mediumship, but if you do, it's going to be when you're conscious. It's not going to be when you go unconscious and let something take you over and obsess you. They're saying inspiration may indeed be mediumship. That mediumship is not evil. Being a medium is not evil because if you're a real medium, you're communicating with the light of God. But the false ones are the ones that let something step in. The ones that knoweth not, that go to sleep, that go unconscious. Right? Let me read this again to you so you guys are understanding what they're saying. Inspiration may indeed be mediumship, but it is conscious. And the knowledge of the prophet instructeth him. Right? So you might get divine through mediumship, but it's going to be when you're awake. It's going to be when you're conscious. This is when the divine knowledge is given and the prophet is instructed. And then the next number, shout out to Ray Strongo Park. We'll get back to that in a minute. You bought a copy of the OASP. Yes. So we're going to get into that. Shout out to Ray Strongo Park who got OASP. So Anna Kingsford and OASP is very similar. They came at similar times, did not know each other. Right? So if you guys have the OASP book, it'll come in a box, hopefully, if you get it from the right sources. right? Hopefully yours came in a box. So I've had mine for a few years. I just started bringing it out recently because I wanted to start reading it, get into it before I started bringing it out. But I've had it for a little while now. This is the Eloist edition of OASP, right? It's got the gold and the blue bookmarkers in there. Monster, right? Literally, you could find this guy channeling through automatic writing. Literally, light came through. An angelic messenger started speaking and making him write through automatic writing, right? And he wrote about and draws the freaking Van Allen belts before we even knew about them in here, right? Wow, nice. Yeah, I think I paid like almost 50, like a little. Maybe I paid like $40. I think like $48. I think I got it for when I bought it. Damn, they lowered the price. They lowered the price. I think it was like 50 when I got it. Um, so that was from John McBrow. Now Anna Kingsford, a lot less, a lot less here. Anna Kingsford didn't really, she never really published her channelings. It was her friend Edward that published this after she passed. But she died at a very young age. All right, she died at 41 years of age. I think she was. Right. Well, what did she lived from 1846 to 1888. So she didn't live long. And then Edward Maitland, he lived from 1824 to 1897. So saying that, look, even though he speaketh in ecstasy, he uttereth nothing that he knoweth not. Thou who are a prophet has had many lives and has taught many nations and has stood before kings. This is very true. Yeah, the 1212 portal is important. This is about, and especially we have like Venus and Mars right now going on, and a lot of things going on. We have a lot of love that can be activated through deep passion, but there's going to be some like vibes that you got to break through first. Might be a little tension and stuff like that going on, but if you get through that tension, you can create and manifest incredible love, right? And incredible things can manifest during the 12/12 time. And then we're in Friday the 13th, right after 12/12. It's time for us to change the world. I want to manifest our own Archangel Michael, the flame of Archangel Michael chapel, the spirit flame of God chapel, where we can all go. I want to build it in a certain sacred geometry. It would be so cool if we could do this. Build it where there's natural well water coming up from the earth. And it would be part in built in, and it'd be a place of music, a place of thought and prayer. She has some amazing things in the Anna Kingsford writings. I would get Clothed with the Sun as well. If people are into the channelings, I would get Clothed with the Sun. Also, we have an activation point in some of the Kabbalah and Kabbalistic literature, especially Lithuanian Kabbalah and knowledge that goes back to like the Vilna Gaon and even Rabbi Luzzatto, who was an Italian rabbi. He was part of the Padua Circle, so-called Padua Circle from Italy, right? The Padua Circle. So they exist. They were a lot of these famous rabbis came in the 1700s as well, right? It was a whole crew of them that were on the earth at those times. Um, we have what's called the Lutz bone. Rabbi Joel David Box talks about that. He was part of the DMT spirit molecule series. You see some of the you had a rabbi that was part of that series, Joel Boxt, Bakst. He wrote the Doctrines of the Vilna Gaon. He wrote a couple of books. One of the books that he wrote as well is uh The Jerusalem Stone of Consciousness, DMT, Kabbalah, and the Pineal Gland by Joel David Boxt. Very interesting, right? So he talks about the Lutz bone, right? And the city of Lutz. The Lutz bone being right up underneath your occipital nerve here, the occipital area. This is a trigger, a doorway of light. And this Lutz bone is at a 45-degree angle with the pineal gland, the way that the Wailing Wall is to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, right? So they use that as a sort of ritual. And then also there's exercises in there where you could put your thumb or your finger and activate that spot right underneath your occipital. And there's a breathing process and meditation process and movement process that you do to open your doorway of light, trigger and activate your Lutz doorway, your cave of light. And you could see this is the diagram of that here. You see how they have the cherubim headset here, the cherubim headset on the side and this is the Lutz cave, and this is the where you would put your thumb and press pretty, not too hard, but press firmly on this area with your thumb or your finger while you're breathing and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling, and you activate the doorway to your pineal. You separate the hair on your head right here, and you put your thumb or one finger on that spot and press firmly as you inhale and exhale and meditate. I can read the whole process to you if you guys are interested in that, or do you want me to go back into the regular talk that we were doing? Do you want me to divert for a minute? What do you guys want me to do? We'll make this a comment-based chat since you guys have been pounding the super chat. Valley Tudo headbutting the super chat. Yeah, let's do that. Let's Valley Tudo headbutt the super chat. Hey, we got merch at the Mystical Spiral store. Everybody, let me know. And yo, don't forget, you guys, incredible book recommendations right here. If you look in the back as well, The Golden Bow by James Frazier. That's a must. If you're into archaeology and actual findings of some incredible stuff, even cannibalism of the Hopis and the ancient Southwest, this book by Turner and Turner, Mancorn. Yes, that's about cannibalism. Incredible name right there, Mancorn. Incredible, right? And then you got The Celestial Ship of the North and the Fraternity of the Builders by Valencia Straighton. You got The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, right? You got The Coming Race by Sir Edward Leighton. This is a good book. Seven Rays by Ernest Wood. Indian Legends by J.J. Woodman. Algonquin and Legends of New England by Charles Leyland, a great book as well. You got the Zeus volumes by Arthur Bernard Cook, very great researches. And you got the Zend Avesta, Persian. This is the Persian sacred writings. This is part 2 of the Zend Avesta, part 2 of 3. You got the Book of the Hopi by Frank Waters. You got How to Know God, the Patanjali Aphorisms. You got Heinz von Forster, The Beginning of Heaven and Earth Have No Name by Fordham University. You got the Aryan mythology of the Aryan nations by this is George Cox, right? Yeah, George Cox. Those are great books. You guys got some great book recommendations on here, and you also can just join my Patreon for all other ones. Another great one by Carlo Ginsberg, Night Battles. You got all the records of the past volumes here. That's part of biblical archaeology here. These are all great books. that are very hard to get. Dynamics of the magnetosphere. This is from Astrophysics and Space Science Laboratory. This was an actual library book from them. This is from look at this. I bought the withdrawn book. This is the Science and Engineering Library from California University of San Diego. Dynamics of the magnetosphere. I also have one like that from this one's from Cambridge University. This is the Jovian magnetosphere. This one was a library too. It's book too. See, you guys can do that sometimes. I could show you how to do that as well. A lot of times you can get the books that's withdrawn from the science and engineering libraries. Yeah, we're gonna do a separate discussion on OWASP, right? And you guys, we have so many different books of channeling and different books here. Um, you guys can see that angels, they can veil themselves in all sorts of ways, right? And they can be just as human as you and me. They can be you or me. We can be angels. There's quite possible that we could be angels. And it's all over the Bible, even where angels were taking the form or going to humans, even, right? You have in the story in Genesis 19, Lot, right? With Lot was visited by angels. He was basically sitting in the gateway of the city when one evening these two strangers, I guess they were apparently travelers, right? They turned up out of nowhere, presumably, right? And he basically gives them hospitality, and brings them in his home and persuades them in and makes them a dinner and everything. And these end up being angels that are saving him from destruction, right? And some even people think that it was a nuclear blast that came down, but I do believe it was a solar event, a lightning bolt, the ever turning flame of God that was upon Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And you literally had beings of light that were rescuing certain people, right? They told Lot that they had been sent by God to destroy the city of Sodom and urged him to get his family out of the freaking place, right? Like immediately. And you could see people were getting uh like turned into pillars of salt, vaporized, mineralized. Literally mineralized. People were becoming mineralized by excessive flame of God, right? And he just in time he escaped, right? And then you have other stories, even in the Old Testament, where angels are involved or some sort of um biblical type of mystical thing is involved. I mean, uh look at with the angels in the fire, or the ones that walked in the fire. Uh Now, I guess it could be interpreted a different way because we have fire walkers on Earth here that can walk over like flames of coal or walk through flames real quick and not be burnt. But the way it's described in the Bible is way, way more intense than that, right? In the Old Testament, you have some sort of maybe an angelic manifestation in the book of Daniel where the Babylonian Nebuchadnezzar king, he's the king of he's a Babylon king. And he ends up becoming indebted to the Jewish prophet Daniel because Daniel interprets this dream for him. And then, like, to reward or show the gratitude for Daniel doing this, Nebuchadnezzar appoints certain prophets to his administration of Daniel. But then later on, Nebuchadnezzar gets this freaking idea where he wants everybody to worship this great golden image of himself, right? And if you're not going to do it, he's going to punish you by throwing you in a fiery furnace, right? And then the three Jews in the story, they are faithful to the Mosaic law. They don't want to worship a golden image of Nebuchadnezzar. And when they refused to worship this image, they were bound and hurled into the furnace. Right? And then when Nebuchadnezzar, when he goes back to watch them in their death throes, all of a sudden he leaps up in astonishment. Like he goes to watch them burn. Nebuchadnezzar wanted to see them burn. And then all of a sudden he leaps up with astonishment. And what happens? He says to his counselors, "Didn't you see those three men bound in the fire? Didn't you cast three men into the fire?" And they answered, "Yes, king, we did. That's true." And then Nebuchadnezzar says, "But I see four men in the fire, loose, walking in the midst of the fire as they are not being hurt. And the appearance of the fourth man is like a son of the gods." So now these are not just your run-of-the-mill firewalkers that they're referencing here. And Nebuchadnezzar, he becomes a convert instantly and praises the God who had sent this angel and delivered these servants who trusted in him, trusted in their God. And look, they trusted in their God, and the God rescued them from these flames. So now, the deeper meaning of that is this brought the conversion to Nebuchadnezzar. And of course, if the king is being converted, he's going to convert his followers or else, right? But not if it's the Christian way. I mean, like what are we going, like, what's going on? But then you also have the book of Tobit. Now, the book of Tobit is only found in the Bible if you're Catholic Christian. It's not in the regular Christian Bible. It's apocryphal, right? So you could find it in Catholic ones, but it's not a typical Jewish Christian. It's a Jewish one. It's not the typical Christian, right? But you can find it in Catholic books as well, right? And this has to do with the angel Raphael. So that's another story, of an angelic messenger in the book of Tobit. But they can be just like you and me. They could be you or I. We are angels as well. And unfortunately, like I've mentioned before, we're caught in the sludge. Right? We are stuck in the sludge. But we are about to wake up the angels, because we are on the cusp. The sun has been showing us the chastisements. I talked about the third secret of Fatima in this series that we've been doing. The presence of God is all within us. The presence of the light is speaking to us at all different times. Now, if you go into Marian apparitions, this is one of the main topics of this series that I'm doing, of when the sun speaks, the third secret of Fatima. and waking up angels, all of this, right? This is all connected to the Marian apparitions and what the sun has been showing us. Unfortunately, the church has manipulated these experiences to religious events for their specific religion, making it the Virgin Mary. But this is not the case. This is a much more ancient source than the Virgin Mary. Yeah, I think it's gonna rain. Rain When I Die was a badass song. Is a badass song. I think it's gonna rain when I die. Yeah, that's a really good song, actually. That's one of the best songs on that whole album. Man, they completely shifted from the album Facelift to Dirt. I like both albums, but they 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 kicked it up a few notches with Dirt, man. It's like I think it was because Lane Staley went from just dabbing in coke and all those drugs and then went straight on into dope. But he was I'll tell you one thing about Lane Staley. He's one of the best singers ever to come out of rock, best vocalist. I saw him at Lollapalooza, and I'm thankful and grateful I got to see them play that year. I was about 20 feet from him singing, and let me tell you, you can feel the power coming from his chest, right? He was singing like it was just coming out of him. Just, just, I fell in love with Alice in Chains that day. I saw a couple of really. I used to go to a lot of shows when I was younger. I was lucky enough to be at a time where I saw some really good shows. I saw freaking. I was at Woodstock '94 in the mud. I think it was '94, right? Yeah, Woodstock. I was with freaking Nine Inch Nails. So I've been at like Lollapaloozas and Ozfests and different things where it's like mud fights and shit. A lot of good shows I went to. I seen Rage Against the Machine at Lollapalooza. I saw Alice in Chains at Lollapalooza. Tool at Lollapalooza. Then I was at another Lollapalooza where it was like Cypress Hill, Hole. Um, I don't know. I seen a lot of good shows. In New York City, I seen so many shows from at they used to have a little place called Coney Island High where all the New York hardcore bands would play, like Sick of It All would play there, Agnostic Front, all these bands would play there. I said Madball, all those bands. It'd be crazy. Then Roseland, Irving Plaza, Limelight. I used to see so many shows, and I saw Filter at the Limelight, Bjork. I saw a lot of good shows. I used to go to all those shows. Yeah, Nine Inch Nails I seen play a lot of times when I was in high school. Yeah, when I was like 94, 93, 94, 95. I don't know when the last time I went to a show was um Deftones. And this was a long time ago. I'm talking like 2008 maybe. Maybe it was like 2008. Coney Island. Yeah, Coney Island's in Brooklyn. My friend lives on right on the my friend Dave lives right near Coney Island. The Warriors. The Warriors. Yeah, people think of the war. It's funny though, when people think of New York City, they think of, or I mean, if they think of New York, they just think New York City when the majority of New York is like suburbs and forest. New York City's like less than 5% of the actual New York. New York, you can drive from New York City and you can literally drive for 9 hours still and be in New York, like all the way to Buffalo and Lake Placid and all the way upstate. Yeah, well, that's where I got actually this copy of Fatima. So you can get the the church's official Dr. Father Marchi, who did the official Fatima writings. You can order from, let me see, the Fatima Center. They have a PO box in Buffalo, New York, and one in Erie, Canada, one in Ontario, Canada, for Canadians. And this gives you their true story of Fatima by Father Marchi, by John B. Marchi. And they have a lot of pictures in here you can't get anywhere else of the Fatima incident and the kids and stuff like that. Most of the kids, the pictures that you see up online come from this book and stuff. Um, and you guys can write to the PO box and get a free copy, I think. Yeah, the Deftones are one of my favorite bands. I actually have the first edition Stephen Carpenter see-through green guitar, signature series ESP guitar. I'll show you. This is the first edition they ever made of it too. I got to get the input fixed because it crackles a little bit with the input. I got to like rig it to play right, but I got to get it soldered. But I got this the first edition when it first. I don't know if it's gonna even come through with the green screen because it's green here. Look, see, it's gonna be look see through because see, you guys can see this is the ESP LT. This is limited edition ESP Stephen Carpenter, and you guys can see the right here on the fret Stephen Carpenter 200 SC 200. This is the Stephen Carpenter signature series ESP guitar. ESP. Look at the back of the neck. ESP. This is the Stephen Carpenter series. Deftones model. Stephen Carpenter. So many people that I've showed this wanted to buy this for me because you can't buy these no more. This is a collector edition now. I've been offered a good amount of money for this. Just it works perfectly still. It's just that the input right here, the wire on the inside has to just be soldered a little bit because it gets a little crackly. You have to like rig the cord. But I've had it for a long time now. It's still in great condition though. Let me see. I don't think it's in tune though. It's been sitting there. Yeah, it's out of tune. I get bored from the Deftones, right? You guys can't hear it probably. Saliva is the only band you've ever seen? Yeah, I even have a Charvel. I got a Charvel Jackson. Remember Helmet? I don't think you guys can hear me playing at all. It's not plugged in either though, but you guys can hear it or no? No, right? Yeah. Yeah, you guys can't hear the sound on it. I don't know why it does that. The microphone does that. Can you guys hear me now when I just talk? Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Yeah, it wouldn't hear it wouldn't hear it wouldn't hear the Tibetan bowl either when I was hitting it the other day. I think the microphone drowns out some other stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's actually a good microphone. The Yeti mic. I don't know. Maybe it does that. I don't know. Drowns out the other noise. Yeah, I love the see-through green. The ESP Stephen Carpenter. This is the SC200 Stephen Carpenter. This is the actual very first one they made. The very first edition. You ever guys ever see this? This is actually carved out of real quartz. This owl. I love this piece. This is real quartz crystal. It comes on a stand too. I have it on a stand. Really dope. Oh, check this out. This is one of my favorite skulls. I have one of these available for sale as well. Same size and everything. This is pyrite, gold pyrite and purple fluorite mixed together. And you guys can see the pyrite cubes in there. Look at that. Look at the pyrite cubes in that with the purple fluorite. Insane. Gold pyrite and purple fluorite mixed together. It's one of the most powerful combinations. And I have one of these available, same size as this. This one is my own. Also, I love the volcanic agate. I don't know if people can see the volcano agate. I have big specimens of this available. This is volcanic agate, but in the UV, this turns all green. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me shut off the light here. I don't know if you guys can see the green that it turns, but all that is green on the inside in there. It's like electric green. It's too bright. Maybe if I did it back here. Yeah, you guys can see it here. Look at all in there goes green. Look at that. It's like Incredible Hulk green with the UV. And then certain spots on the front is green. See? So dope. Look at that. And then the cavern on the inside. It's all green in there. It's all green on the inside. That's Augie. This is a very ancient style of carving. Yeah, they hold specific memory. I have specific quartz and different things that are from specific areas of the world, and they hold specific areas of those places knowledge. And I could verify this by, I mean, I guess I can't verify it technically, prove it to you guys, but I verified it through my own research. Like, let me give you an example. I've had quartz, I've had even shungite, right? I've had shungite that's from a specific area in Russia, right? While working with not just the shungite pendants but the shungite that I wrapped in twisted copper and silver, by working with that and wearing that every day, I was starting, and I was wearing it to sleep even, right? At night, tucking it in my shirt on my bare chest, right? I was getting visions of people wearing specific garb, right? People wearing specific clothing. And I would look it up the next day and be like, oh my God, it's from that same sort of area that the shungite's from, right? And things like that's just one example. I could give you countless examples, right? They and when you carve a crystal or a skull um into a skull shape, you're making like a computer for you know, the human brain. When you carve a crystal like of quartz or something, or any type of crystal, into the shape of a sentient creature's brain, all shapes hold power, all shapes hold a certain frequency and signature, right? Well, something magical happens when you carve quartz into the shape of a sentient organ, even like a brain, right? And then you give the whole human head, right? Something magical happens, and you're able to get, it's sort of like a collective memory. You're able to help the human brain connect to the collective memory of the environment that quartz collects, the vibration and energies that quartz collects, right? This is why a lot of times areas even that's made out of granite, it collects a lot of memory of the area, right? Gettysburg, for instance, right? Gettysburg is lined, the bedrock of Gettysburg is lined with black granite. All the quartz in that granite is just collecting all the memory of all that energy that was exposed of a very short period of time, where all those people died in a very short period of time, that is just imprinted within the quartz, and it gets replayed and replayed. And you can have somebody who show up at Gettysburg, right? And in a prior lifetime, their energy could have died at that spot, and then when they reappear there in another incarnation, it'll replay the memory of their last experience there, right? So people will be like, wow, I just saw, it looked like a soldier on a loop, the same loop going over and over again. And the person standing next to the guy said, I didn't see nothing. Well, the guy who saw it, it was meant to see him, because that could have been related to his imprint, right? His own imprint on the spot, his own connection to the spot. Yeah, yo, you so uh Isaac got a crystal skull from me that was very well done. I didn't carve that one. My buddy from India carved that one. The same carver that Joshua Shapiro uses carved the skull that Isaac has, and he got his out of this same quality, same slab. I sent him the material to carve it. Golden sheen obsidian right here. This is from the same material that your skull was made from. I sent it to the guy to carve it. So this is the golden sheen obsidian. I even have a little skull that I did myself of golden sheen obsidian. See? This is from my own design. I'm not as good as as the teeth as well. You know what? It's in the eye of the beholder. It's a matter of taste. I do a more natural teeth. Let me show you the way I do my teeth. The guy who did yours, he does it like the person had perfect teeth. Like everything's perfect, like veneers. I don't do mine like veneers. Some people, like most carvers, they carve it where it looks the teeth literally looks like veneers. I don't do that on mine. Mine looks more like a natural. It's actually harder to do the veneers look to make it like that. It's harder to do it that way. But I tend to like it when it's more natural looking. Let me show you the perfect way to do it. So most people don't most people when they do skulls. Oh, let me plug in my most people when they carve skulls, they don't do any of this. Any of the indentations that you see here, they don't do that, right? So it's still a good skull, but they don't do that. Like, let me show you an example. Like right here, very clean skull, very clean, but above the lip, it's just clean. There's no indentations or anything. It's just clean there, see? And the teeth are very nice though, natural looking, right? I like the teeth on this, but it's all clean up here. It's no realness right here. It's just clean, like very smooth. Now, this one, you can see this guy made a lot. This was done in the 1960s as well, this one. All right? So check this out. This guy has a lot of indentations above the teeth. I don't know if you can't see it well on the fucking video. Maron is killing me this video. So, but if you guys can see, it's got a lot of indentations. Whoa. Dude, it just sounded like something punched the wall here. That's crazy. Maybe you guys can see it. There's all little indentations above the teeth. Very natural looking. Like this as well. This one's got like tribal writing on it as well, though. It was almost clear for a second. See how it's got. Let me try to. This one, you can see it better because it's black. This actually has tribal war paint, sort of tribal writing on it. See it? This is Omega's Lee. These two are two of my favorites. These are the light and the dark tribe. The elongated, the elongated brothers, the two master skulls. But then you got, other labradorite that are really powerful that I have. This is one of my favorite labradorites. You guys can see the amazing labradorite on there. And this one is the eagle protector. This all catches it's like it almost looks like a whip. It blocked Satan's whip. This one is pretty heavy too. Look at the feathers, it's so dope. I use flip feathers a lot. I got some very interesting feathers that have come to me over the years. Um, my red tail hawk feather. Have you guys ever seen this guy? This is my this is one of my favorite ones. This guy, he gave me this gift, this red tail hawk. I was seeing him for a long time, and then finally one day he dropped me a feather. It was a gift, and I've kept it ever since. Look at this bad boy. Beautiful red-tailed hawk feather. Love that bad boy. And then we got um These two. These are from the pileated woodpecker that's in my backyard. Look at these. I get some video sometimes of the woodpecker. He drops me a feather. As my daughter says, feather. He drops me a feather every once in a while. He drops me a feather. Yeah, I love those. Well, I am starving. I am starving, everybody. We're gonna do another show in a little while. Actually, we'll go into the Marian apparitions. I'm gonna eat, get something to eat real quick, and we're gonna go back into the Marian apparitions. We're gonna do another episode. Um, we're gonna leave the sale up on my website, everybody, for another till the end of the day today. So a little less than 24 hours. But we're gonna get back in to the Marian apparitions in a little while. I really appreciate everybody, the donations as well. Wraith, shout out to Wraith for the donation, and Alexander J. Mitchell. Incredible. Yeah, we're gonna get into the flaming, ever turning flame. And we're going to get into, if people want to follow with me, if you have the research out there, we're going to use the Transactions of the Society of Biblical Archaeology. We're going to be getting into the fight between Bel and the dragon and the flaming sword, which turns every way, the ever turning sword of God, which it also appears in Genesis. Right? So let me not end the show yet. Let me continue for a minute. So this also shows up in Genesis. This ever turning flame of God. Now, what is the ever turning flame of God that they're talking about? This ever turning flame of Bel and the dragon, even, right? When you have a coronal flare, a solar flare, it has to twist and turn. Look at the video I put up on YouTube, the short I put up of the plasma coronal mass ejection, right? It's a twisting, ever turning flame that turns every which way and is ejected from the sun. This is the sword of God. This is the flaming sword of Archangel Michael. This is the Ankh of Egyptian, the Pasha of Hindu, right? This is my biggest revelation, everybody. And I'm showing you guys this. I've tried to actually disprove myself, but I've only found more evidence by doing that. Right? Let's go to Genesis. I think it's 3:24, I believe. Everybody's got the Bible. Genesis 3:24. I think it ends the third Genesis 3. It's the very end of Genesis 3. Go to the very end of Genesis 3. Let's read the last few lines of Genesis 3. The Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way, or flashing back and forth every way, or guard the way to the tree of life. So this flashing back and forth in every way to guard the tree of life, this is the flaming sword that's also discussed in Bel and the dragon, the Chaldean story. This is the archangel flaming sword of Michael. This flame is upon us right now, everybody. We have over 4,000 sunspots delivering the flaming sword of God. We are getting that pounding hammer of Thor. And when the sun brings its feminine, nurturing, warning aspect, it comes in the form of divine revelation. It comes in the form of what has been adapted by the church as Marian apparitions. You know what? Let's not stop this show. Let's keep it continuing. Let me just take a minute break. We'll keep this show going. Let's just give a minute intermission for a minute, everybody. I hope I didn't lose everybody. People started leaving because I was gonna end the show, but we'll keep it going instead of me stopping it. We'll keep it going. I just want to take a few minute break. I just need to get some water and put something in my belly real quick. Yeah, Zarathustra, all of that is Asura vibes. All right, let me put these skulls away. You guys see the little golden sheen obsidian? Look at this. I carved this bad boy. Look at that. I'm proud of this. It's the elongated skull, too. Elongated. I got some Himalayan quartz ones too that I got to put more up online because the ones that I put up sold out already. Oh, did you ever see? This actually is an opal. Look at how masterful this is. Man, I don't know if it's coming in clear. The work on this, I didn't do this one. This is really, really well done. This actually is an opal. This is a hyalite opal. This actually turns green all on top of here in the UV. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what I mean. Now I sound like Danzig on crack. This is all green right here. Look at that. See how it glows like kryptonite on the top? That is all green. I'll do a video where you can see it better. Look at that shit. It looks like it's plutonium. Radioactive. It's a radioactive skull. It's radioactive. It's intergalactic planetary. I got all sorts of labradorite though. Labradorite's one of my favorite materials. I got all different. I showed you guys a few skulls of labradorite. Here's another one. I love this labradorite one. I have a whole bunch of mini skulls of labradorite too. I love this labradorite. It's really dope. This one is a really high quality labradorite too. And then we got this one. This has got the purple flash labradorite on it. This is a very high quality labradorite with the purple flash all over it. I love this guy. And then we got another Native American labradorites. You guys saw the one with the big feathers before. Well, this one's got more of a headdress. It's got all labradorite all over it too. All the flash. It's even got some purple flash on the cheeks. This one's heavy too. Oh, you get a better view of all the flash on that. I see all the, I don't even know if you guys can see it all. It's like all over it, but it's more subtle, I think, on this. This has got rainbow on it too, flash, blue flash. And then it's got purple all here. Purple on the cheekbones here. I actually have some labradorite freeforms available too. if people are interested, for sale. These ones, look at that. Very high quality, both sides. Look at that. Wow. I have a few of these left. And then I got these mini labradorite skulls. These are really, these ones got a lot of labradorite flash on them too, all these skulls. These mini ones. And then check out this one. This one is got the spiral knotwork on it. This is like Celtic knotwork. And we got also labradorite towers. That one's got the gold flash too. Look at that shit. I love apophyllite too. I just put up a apophyllite specimen. This is apophyllite too. Well, it got a little dusty. This is apophyllite. I love apophyllite. It's the best for connecting to nature and spirit. Look at that apophyllite. Fucking dope. I also have some green fluorite. I got some really amazing green fluorite. If anybody's interested. And green fluorite specimen. This is UV reactive too. Look at this. Green. This is for mental clarity. It almost looks like a hermaphrodite, like a vagina and a little a little peepee. Look at this. It's beautiful green fluorite. Huge specimen here. This is powerful. And then I got some amazing quartz specimens. We got some beautiful quartz specimens there. Look at some of these quartz specimens. Beautiful. We got spirit quartz. I'm gonna actually wrap one of the spirit quartzes as a pendant. The last one I made, Alexander J. Mitchell got. That one is one of my favorite pendants I've ever made, the spirit quartz one. Um, we have some spirit quartz available for purchase. I have a prophecy stone available for purchase too. I'm gonna put it up after this, after we go live here. This one's about to go up on the website. The prophecy stone. It's Tektite. That's about to go up for sale. And we got all sorts of watermelon tourmaline specimens as well. Beautiful watermelon tourmaline. I like this one. Look at this bad boy. Look at that beautiful tourmaline in there. We got we got purple mica specimen or lepidolite mica. All sorts of stuff for you guys. All different apopholites. Oh, here's another. This one. This is another little spirit quartz. These spirit quartzes are dope. I gotta eat though. I'm freaking starving. Um, the prophecy stone. Yeah, if you want, Alexander J. Mitchell, I'll put it. I'll hold it for you. If you want, I won't put it up online. You could buy it if you want it. This is a nice size one too. I can even wrap this into a. Actually, you know what? I don't like wrapping copper coils or silver coils around tektites. The energy gets too much. This by itself is good enough, so I'll actually put this in a hemp necklace for you, like one like this. I don't know if I have black though. I have the regular hemp color. This is a hemp like a hemp necklace. This has pink lithium Lemurian quartz in it right here. One of these with a prophecy stone in it is dope. Right now I'm wearing big ass Herkimer diamond. Look at that Herkimer diamond right there. Let me put this shit away. I was wearing the twisted royal cubit with the amethyst for a couple of weeks. This is one of my favorite pendants. The twisted royal cubit silver copper around the chevron amethyst, dream amethyst. I have one of these available on the website, but in regular copper. I can also make one like this too. I have a couple of more of these left. All right, let me put some of this stuff away. Yeah, one of my favorite types of quartz though is the black tourmaline in quartz. Like this wand here. I got a stand that I have a custom stand made for. It's only for this wand. It's like a natural obelisk. And I'll put the copper ring around it. I got that right next to my laptop. And then on top of my laptop here, I got the Shungite pyramid and the pink lithium Lemurian quartz point, and also an opal rhyolite fire matrix opal in its rhyolite skull. This is fire matrix opal in its mother rhyolite rock. Yeah, I got to get those blue coral jade. I got the blue coral coming actually for you. I already ordered it. I got a lot of natural citrine recently too, if anybody's interested. All right, I'm gonna go eat. I'll be back, everybody. We're gonna go live and finish the Fatima conversation. Yeah, I have Fire Matrix Opal skulls that are available for sale. Um, I have a few of them. They're really, really intense as well. And they're from Mexico. They're from Jalisco, Mexico. I'll be back, guys, in a little bit. Don't forget, it is Friday the 13th, and the portal is open for manifestation. The sun is friggin' wide and talking to us.